Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claroos.
And this is the Acolyte. It's episode 3 of the Star War.
The Star War.
But, yeah, we are going to dive
nobody talks about.
Right back in. Oh, yeah. No discourse this week.
Nope.
No fire in space.
Nope.
Yeah.
We don't do that here.
No white men.
Nope.
Tommen Baratheon is a man of color.
Real
apparently.
Space only. No fantasy.
I can't wait to get into this episode, and then I can't wait to see what discourse Nerdrotic comes up with this week as he continues to grift that corner of the internet for money.
Yeah.
For beliefs that I genuinely think he does not honestly hold. Anyway, God, I'm so glad I like my life. If you want the full-length reaction, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly. But if you want to bang your head against a wall, there's a whole fleet of YouTube channels I can sell you.
Oh, God.
Do you want to start doing grift content so that we make more money?
No.
We could make more money. We just have to be racist.
Yeah, I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, crazy. So many people are, though. Anyway, let's dive into today's Star Wars video. It's interesting that they put the twin sister thing in the previously on.
We thought we were doing the right thing.
Not a white man.
Not white, no. That is a black man?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but...
He was gray in that shot because of the lighting.
Also, we were wrong about May's hair.
Not really.
It has longer
May's
pieces.
is longer in the back, but they have the same front piece.
Yes. Yeah, it's like the same from like here.
They have the same hair, but May has extensions.
Yeah.
The wokeness has begun.
Oh, boy!
Let the woke seep into you.
Let the woke flow through you. Let it teach you tolerance and empathy. Oh, scary.
God, yeah, it's been a weird week to be on the internet.
Yeah.
Brendok. Oh. Backstory. We're getting right into it.
Yeah.
I kind of thought this would be like episode 4 or 5.
Yeah. They look like jellyfish.
Yeah. Oh, see, May and Osha got a haircut one time and we're like, this is it. This is the haircut we're going to stick with forever.
Hey, it's really tough learning how to, like, style your hair differently.
Oh. Maybe let's not be sociopathic serial killer children.
How'd you know I was here? When I can't find you, I look here.
I think Dexter has a similar beginning.
Let it go, May. Stop! Why do you always have to do things like that?
You just did that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the ascension. It's just a ceremony.
Oh my god, is it their space bat mitzvah?
There will be consequences for breaking the rules.
It isn't fair. I'm old enough to go outside the fortress walls.
The rules are for
I
your
wonder if
safety.
those are scars or if that's like her natural...
She looks like if Darth Maul and Fripp had a baby from
And Asajj?
no, Garsa
Fwip?
was that her name?
From Boba Fett?
Yeah.
The Twi'lek?
Yeah.
Oh.
She had like kind of like skin colored like light flesh toned instead of green and blue.
What do you think our boy Soul is doing here? Sneaking in the woods
I don't know.
after young girls.
The sneaking part is weird. If he was just like patrolling, it wouldn't be.
Oh. Is this all going to be about the Jedi taking kids? Is that what, like, he's here for them because they're Force sensitive, and that's going to be what the...
Well, but he still shouldn't be sneaking. He's assigned to this planet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need this skirt design. It's a built-in sweater.
I'm not little anymore. Please, Mother Coral.
After the ascension ceremony.
I love the way the script is hinting at Osha being... not wanting to be a twin.
My sweet girls must have sweet treats. Don't you think so, Coral?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Thing that May gets?
Yeah.
Meet me in the common room for your training session.
It must be of their, like,
I don't think that she
people-
would have gotten her mom's tattoo if she killed her mom. I think there's something...
Yeah.
I told you this planet would be safe haven for our coven.
It's not going to stay safe if Osha keeps running away.
Is that their other mother?
I think so. Unless
They
it's
just
like a
don't
polycule
call-
of space witches.
Maybe.
A firm hand is required.
Osha is testing her boundaries. It's normal behavior for a child.
Yeah. Okay, so so it's like sneaky spying on them to find Jedi.
I think so. Oh, shit. That's the Force.
It binds you to others.
I think that, like, the choice to not have the May and Osha be the same girl is smart at this age, because financially, shooting these scenes lengthwise would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
Let go of me! You let go of me!
Your enemies will not warn you before they attack.
That girl almost just cracked her head on that step.
Yeah, that was close.
that was...
Osha!
I expect more from you.
That's why that's the one they call Mama.
Yeah. Good cop, bad cop. I hate the one thing that I've never seen done well in kid actors is the pretend fighting.
It's tough.
Stop it. I don't fault them for that. It's just something that I've noticed.
I don't want to do the ascension. But that's how we become witches.
Actual witches. Jedi did some sketchy shit. Do-da, do-da.
When do they not, though?
Yeah.
What are you drawing? Stop! Don't look.
She is right there.
But why? Because we're not the same. Of course we are. No, it feels that way because we're the only children here. Don't you wonder what could be out there? Everything I need is here.
It's a beautiful sentiment.
I love that the logo is those moons.
It's interesting that they're, like, racially all over. So they're just, yeah.
They're connected by, I believe, their ability to use the Force.
The gift of life!
Oh, that's very Star Wars. No father, just magically enhanced children.
Yeah.
But Sheev Palpatine can't be the reason this time. The blend between the in-world audio and the score is really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ascend.
Oh, the tattoo's magic.
Oh.
Do you vow upon my death to protect the secrets of our coven?
Oh, something bad is about to happen.
I... too?
The Jedi! They've sliced the platform.
I mean, the tattoo is really quick. I feel like she could have gotten it done really fast and then... Damn, he went from Padawan to Master in 16 years. That's impressive. And really in like 6. Because hasn't he not spoken in 10 years?
In 10 years, yeah.
Padawan to Master in 6 years, Torben. That's...
We are concerned that you are training children. The Republic lost.
Brendok is not a part of the Republic.
Those are very different arguments.
Jedi do not take children.
Hold your tongue or I cut it out for you!
Whoa, what?
Mother Anastasia, you cannot deny that Jedi have the right to test potential Padawans. With your permission, of course.
You can't deny it. With your permission, though.
We appreciate your cooperation.
Okie dokie.
Gather my advisors.
Oh, this isn't everyone?
And the Republic would destroy us.
There are only 4 Jedi. Who would miss them?
Well, that's not really
That's not how that works.
no.
And I've made it.
I carried them.
Oh.
And what happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?
Then Sheev Palpatine will create Anakin Skywalker. Wait!
A fail. If they pass, the girls leave.
That CGI was a little wonky.
I actually thought it looked really good. It was just noticeable that there hasn't been much in the show. And so it stood out by being novel.
I think the mouth just looked a little weird, especially when so much of it is prosthetic.
Mm-hmm.
But as you grow, what you want, it changes, it shifts. Like the seasons.
Which is why I'm making you make this choice at this age.
Yeah. Those bows look like so Empire for some reason. I think it's just they're like shiny black.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I promise.
Yep, it's gonna go real bad.
Yeah.
Hi.
Is he a balding Wookiee?
No, it looks like it's shaved specifically for like the blue
Yeah.
details. It's really cool design.
Yeah. This episode feels like a Brandon Sanderson book, where it's a little slow in a way that's interesting, but I think it's going to like all fall into place in a way that's kind of a disaster. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
In this test, you must divine what images appear on the testing screen. Tell us what you see.
Some things never change.
Correct.
That wasn't a
Did someone tell you to fail this test? What do you want, Osha?
This is very manipulative.
I know.
I was different from my family. The Jedi saw how special I was.
The thing is, she's actually not different than everybody else here.
I mean, she kind of is because she was made by the Force, right?
I want to be a Jedi.
Then you must have the courage to tell the truth.
Soul was crushing it there. I would give him a second.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was a great little bit of acting from both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to be a witch. What's wrong with you?
Go and take a walk, May. Take a walk with Mother Coral. Now!
This is like flashing me back to my childhood. because I have twin brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Twin siblings. And there is a flip-flopping that happens, right? There are phases of it where they really are the same, and also where they desperately don't want to be.
Yeah.
And having watched this from the outside and watch it play out here is really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Fear should not make this decision, Osha. You should.
I want to be a Jedi, Mama. I do. I love you, Mama.
I love you. Now go.
She's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stop me. Yes, I can. How? I'll kill you. May, let me out. I won't let it happen. May, please!
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
The thing is, kids say that all the time. Oh.
That spread fast. This stone is very flammable. Because that is all made of
No, I think
stone?
this is all wood. I think there's wood paneling on the bottom. What the fuck? Why did that blow up?
Osha! Hey!
Why are
Why
they
is he
here?
there?
Oh, maybe they were there to pick her up. She was packing. That makes sense.
Yes.
Mama's dead. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?
What?
I got you.
How did they all die? They all have the Force.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck happened. May lit a book on fire and suddenly the whole building exploded.
And specifically killed every single person?
I'm looking for wounds.
There has to be there has to be like another episode about this, right? This is just like trying to tease us that this is a weird mystery because this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. This has to be only half of the mystery.
Like, how did all those people die in the middle of a room?
I don't know.
It has to be worse than that because Torben kills himself for some reason.
Yeah.
You're okay, Osha. You're going to be okay.
Because, like, there was an explosion upstairs before.
Yeah. They must have killed those women.
Mm-hmm.
May started a fire. It destroyed everything.
How would they know that?
And if you wish, you're trained as my Padawan.
Yeah, he's doing shit out of guilt. They must have done something else.
Yeah. Because there's no way that they would have known that May started that fire. She was in a hallway with the book.
A fire in a hallway would somehow destroy a mountain of stone.
Well, yeah.
You will never feel like this again. I promise.
It's a weird fucking thing, I promise.
Oh, is that the end of the episode?
Yeah,
No, okay. Yeah. I don't know what to say about the episode. It feels very much part of something that we haven't seen yet. And so I'm like really curious when we get to it. You know what I mean?
Yes. They either gave too much away or not enough.
Yeah, and we won't know till later.
This felt like half-assed in a way.
You thought it was lazy?
Like we kind of want to give you answers, but not really, but kind of, but not really. Like, it just felt like a little, like either give us the flashback with like, what's going on, or don't do an entire detailed flashback episode that, like, only the last couple seconds are, like, a little, like, muddled. I feel like I much would have preferred that the, like, pieces fall together part by part through.
I think it's a gamble to spend the entire episode with 2 kid actors who I think mostly rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
But
they did pretty well.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was but I also felt like it was a little yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah. I didn't love it as an episode of TV.
Yeah.
I think there's a few reasons for it. I think one is that Star Wars already has witches with the Dathomir witches.
Yeah.
And
just a
they're
different kind of Force user. Like...
Yeah, it's just so. It took me a second to get. This is not a comment on the writing of the episode, but for me, it took me kind of a second because, like, Star Wars witches and Star Wars, like, witch magic in Star Wars is a specific thing, right? That they aren't.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to me that they didn't give them a different word for it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just doing the same thing the Dathomirian witches are, the Night Sisters are doing, but without the green energy of it. It's just the black eye, the covering over of the black eye looked adjacent to what the Dathomirians do, but they specifically oppress the men of their culture.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Clone Wars gets into that.
Yeah.
And so this was interesting because these women seem to be celibate.
There are no men. They're not here.
But they're not racially from the same culture, right? Like this is a coven that has collected Force sensitive women from other cultures and pulled them in. And it's just the like it seems it's an interesting line.
A more like it's a religious group, not like a racial group. Like they Yeah. And I believe that the witches of Dathomir existed for several hundred years, right? Like, they
longer
are,
than that.
Yeah, okay, at least. Yeah. My point being that
Ahsoka says that they've been set up since they were from another. Like, the thing about the witches of Dathomir is that Ahsoka, and this is kind of a spoiler for Ahsoka, sorry, but it kind of sets up that they're actually not from the same galaxy as the Jedi,
right?
Or same universe. Yeah, they're from, like, the universe over, and you have to take the whale level hyperspace to get to where the Dathomir.
Right.
And so it's just it was. I just found the reuse of the word witch. This isn't a, like, positive or negative. It was just that when you say witches in Star Wars, I have a very strong connection to something that already exists.
Yeah.
And they were adjacent enough, but it just kind of took me a second to get around that.
Well, because you're sitting there trying to figure out if there is a connection and if you should be looking for one, and like.
And it was such a big part of the end of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Right. The last Star Wars show that came out had like witches were such a big plot point. And Morgan Elsbeth as a character just got Tales of the Empire. So I was like, are they from Dathomir? But they can't be.
Well, and I asked, like, you know, how old they are because, like, they would have been around doing their own thing.
Long before this.
Like,
yeah.
Right. So are they a, like, sect that maybe, like, took stuff from their culture and I don't know.
I don't know how I feel after this episode. Like, it's...
Maybe May learns necromancy and she brings all of her coven back to life.
I think there's a really interesting commentary here about the Jedi as a power structure.
Yeah.
Right? Versus a cult. And this is specifically a cult because the issue I think that comes up in this episode between May and Osha is that May is embracing her cult, right? But it is a cult, right? Like, the idea that these girls have to be branded at the age of 10, 11, 12, whatever they are, and to be the future leaders of this coven.
Yeah.
And that they have to accept the secrets and the brand and, like, a physical mark upon them at that age.
As children, yeah.
Feels, it's not exactly like... Yeah, it's an interesting, like, the illusion of choice is there.
Yeah.
And so the commentary is almost like this, they're like, well, the rest of the galaxy might not accept you because you do the Force, and unless you become a cop, right? And there's there is an interesting tension there in Star Wars with modern politics and like how we talk about the police and the kinds of ways in which we enforce the law, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, but also like maybe don't tell a 12-year-old that she has to swear on her life to, you know, be branded as your next leader. Like that, I think that both of those things are wrong in some way, and so it's not. I appreciate the show didn't present the Coven as perfect and the Jedi as the problem when they're both flawed.
Yeah, they are both cults, right? Like the Jedi are like, we're going to take you away from your family and cut you off from the rest of the world, isolate you so that you have to believe our shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it is a form of brainwashing. And the isolation of like you can never see your families again, you stay in the temple or whatever is like it is very much like cult like, and it was then reflected in the witches here who like can't leave the planet, nobody knows that we're here. I know you say you want to leave, but you don't actually want to. You're gonna like stay here, and you're going to choose the path for the rest of your life at the age of fucking 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever it is, right? Like, first of all, I think it's insane that we make people choose at, like, 18. Because no one fucking knows what they want. I do appreciate that this episode wasn't, like, Jedi bad guys, witches good guys. Like, they were both, like, really, like potentially problematic systems that were mirrored in one another, and one twin wanted to stay and one twin wanted to go, and then something happened. Like clearly, like the Jedi must have like fucking murdered everybody.
But May has to know that,
and I don't know how May
felt that's where it gets weird.
Yeah,
and of course she survived, because when dark side people fall, they survive.
Unless I'm actually right, and May learned necromancy and she brought them back, and it's actually her mom. Well, but that's what the
witches do in Star Wars,
that's
right?
What I mean.
Like that's where like it could be her mom, because Star Wars, witches in Star Wars bringing their ancestors back to fight the Jedi is a thing that is cool. It's in a video game, it's in a TV show. Yeah, we've done it. The guilt of the Jedi now is getting real weird to me. Not bad. Just like they must have like murdered. Did they encourage the fire to spread maybe? Like I'm trying to figure out what they did in this situation that makes it their fault.
And that's the thing. They either like intentionally fucking murdered people or did nothing, and their guilt is like a little bit odd. I don't know how they know that May lit shit on fire. Like I don't know how, like why everybody.
I don't know
why everybody was dead and not like crushed by debris or had like wounds of any kind that we could see. Obviously, like it was dark and things were moving fast, but like.
Well, it looked like they'd all been poisoned.
Yeah, like maybe there was.
And they were all like they were fallen in like a group, which made it seem like they.
Well, there was a bunch in a group, and then there was a bunch that were like evenly spread out in the other room where her mom was. And so the whole like layout of that, the geography of that is a little bit confusing, especially because May like lit a fire on one floor, and suddenly 45 seconds later it explodes their entire like power core system, and then the entire building is on fire.
I'm assuming that it was just it took longer than it looked like, but because we followed Osha in real time through the vent?
Through some kind of vent.
The vent in her room that has to be hacked to open?
It has to be hacked, and then it leads directly to the reactor.
Yeah.
The power source. I don't know.
Well, I guess maybe if there was a vent in my girl's room that led to the power core, I would make it locked. So maybe that actually does make sense. I'd be like, I can't let you guys sneak out.
Maybe I wouldn't give them that room. Yeah. It's a pretty big building, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
But this is what I mean by like, look, I don't think the episode was particularly exciting.
No.
And I'm not saying that every episode of television has to be exciting. This felt like it slowed down to explain stuff that didn't need to be explained.
Well, but here's the problem. It didn't explain stuff. It kept the mystery of it.
But I mean literally like the time was spent to explain that May and Osha have different personalities.
Yes.
And I think that I think the economy of storytelling in this episode leaned away from my interest.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
I feel like I got it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the episode was like, but did you know that they are different? And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I got that right away.
Well, I got that right away, and I would rather see those differences like flourish like throughout the show as opposed to like they're different.
Yeah.
They're different. Here it is for 30
Yeah.
minutes, and like that feels a little like hand over fist in a way that it like is also not my favorite. I'm glad that I'm glad that we got to meet their mom. I thought she was a phenomenal actor. Both their mothers, honestly.
Yeah.
The idea of this coven is also interesting, but again, I have so many questions. It just is. It was a weird. I think it was a weird choice to make this an episode in itself. Because I don't
And kind of leave the audience with the same amount of information that we previously had.
Exactly. We have no more real plot information. We just have a little bit of extra character building and why the tattoo is there. Kind of.
Yeah.
And that's really about... Oh, and we find out that they're born of the Force, I guess.
Which is gonna be controversial, I think.
Yeah, people are not gonna like that because Anakin, like, being the chosen one and being the one that's Force baby, like... Because he is the only one, and now that he's not the only one, people are gonna have feelings.
The idea, it kind of does the same thing the Bad Batch did, where I'm like, oh, cool, this is where, like, the dark side learned about Force-made babies, right? And then whoever is the dark side master in this episode, or in the show, passed that down to Plagueis, who passed it down to Palpatine, right? I would buy the, like, transfer of information, but the people that know how to do it died. So, like, they figured out how to make a Force baby like Anakin and then died before the dark side found out about it?
Unless they came back as zombies.
But the Switch zombies don't talk.
I know, but they
could. But
maybe.
then Asajj just came back in Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Without any explanation.
That's so true.
So
spoilers for Bad Batch. I'm sorry. If you're watching Star Wars stuff, I feel like we talk about other Star Wars stuff.
But that's not even a spoiler. That was in the ads.
That's in the trailers. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The fact that the episode doesn't explain how she's alive is, I guess, a spoiler, but it's... I don't know. I don't think of, like, they didn't do something as spoilers personally, but... I don't... I'm so... This did not help the show for me.
No.
In terms of my esteem of it.
Yeah.
I think that
weird.
I think that they, interestingly, by making the episode in the way that they did, I actually feel like they have put more pressure on future episodes because now you have to land this plane, and this plane is a little bit unsteady. Like the sequence of events here was convoluted. And so now you have to, the future of the show has to get this convoluted thing to a point where I understand that May thinks Osha's dead, which she doesn't have a reason to think.
No.
Because I'm assuming she looked up and saw that her sister got caught. It was or I guess maybe she thinks that Osha, but like, where did May land that she walked out? So she fell in the mountain.
Yeah.
Walked away from where she landed, didn't see Osha land where she landed. Like, this is where I mean it's convoluted. Unless May fell unconscious, bounced down the entire mountain, and woke up at the yellow tree that's like a hike. Their mom had to leave the fortress and go into the forest and go find them at that tree. So it's not like May, like, woke up there.
Yeah, because, like, either the entire building collapsed, in which case, like, how is she alive? Or it didn't, and she saw all the bodies except for her sisters.
How did she fall? Like, unless she used the Force to fall, unless the Force protected her from landing.
Which, that's fair. Her surviving that fall is, like, what it is. Like, that's...
No, I don't care that she survived the fall.
Yeah.
Whatever. Force users, whatever.
It's how she got out of the
mountain, thinking that Osha died there.
Well, I think she was going to check the tree to see if she was there, and then because she's not at that tree, she thinks that she must be dead. Not, oh, the Jedi maybe took her. I don't know. It is weird that she thinks that she is dead when, like, a logical conclusion would be that she was with the Jedi, seeing as they were there in the building.
When they think that she's dead for 60, like... Yeah.
Also, what a fucking massive leap. Like, I know that we saw her, like, force holding a butterfly, but to go from that to murdering your sister is, like, a pretty big leap.
Yeah.
That is not a crack. That is a chasm to cross.
The fire spreads so fast.
The fire spread so fast, which, like, whatever, it's TV. That is what it is. She literally had a Daenerys Targaryen flip of burn it all to the fucking ground. And I was like, okay, I actually would have preferred not to have this scene. I think that's what it is. I would have preferred not to have this scene and just to, like, fill in those little things myself, because I'm like, she was a kid who then just fucking decided to murder her sister. Like, that seems insane to me. Wanting to stop your sister from leaving? Logical. Like, wow, not. For a kid. Yeah. You're like, I need to stop my... And trying to prevent...
even for an adult, like, being scared of losing someone, makes people do irrational things.
Totally. But I imagined that she didn't want... Like, I was imagining, as this episode was playing out, right, that... This fire happened because Osha tried to leave and May tried to stop her, and then a fire like ensued, like on the ship or something like that. Like it was It
wasn't her being like
wasn't die
staring
bitch.
into the flames.
Like full fire starter over here, and I was like, this is a wild leap for me.
Well, and I really question the parenting of the Coven, because like these girls are clearly not okay.
Yeah,
and those moms aren't helping them. Like, that girl is a sociopath, and they're not doing a great job.
Here's the thing. When they say it takes a village...
You have the village.
Somebody should have noticed May's sociopathic tendencies. Like, did she start, like, murdering cats or something? Like, I just... feel like there are only 2 children.
I love that. I was like, this is an episode of Dexter.
None of the other women have children to look after, and the fact that they are not always watchful of the only 2 children that are in the village is like...
Yeah, it's like, how do you sneak out when you have 20 parents?
At least 20, right? Like,
plus, whoever that village was? Because those people weren't all the witches, were they?
No, I think that they were. I think there was about 30 to 40 people total that lived here. I don't think they built the structure. I think that they, like, found it, which is then weird, because the Jedi was like, we thought that this planet was uninhabited.
But that building is
building is huge.
Those women did not build that.
Unless they did.
But I think the Jedi were lying there. I think that the Jedi were using a ploy.
Oh, for sure.
I also love that the lead witch, I don't know their names, but the lead witch was like, this is not the Republic. And I was like, that's a great argument. And then her wife chimed in and was like, no, we do have children. Fuck you. And I was like...
No, she said they don't have
your wife was crushing it here with the argument.
Yeah, she's like, we're not under your jurisdiction. But we don't have kids anyways.
No, I think I think what she said was like, leave or else we'll crack your skulls, or like something aggressive. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, I thought... No,
and then the lead witch, like,
she was
takes
like,
over
no
Tommen's mind.
Here. She said there's no children.
That was before this, I think. Anyway, but no, my point is like the witches, but the Jedi were being so aggressive because they like hacked their way in, which is hilarious. They when they say they spliced the platform, that's Star Wars hacking.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, although if you've listened to us talk about this for 20 minutes after it ended, you probably know what splicing is. This is an episode that I could love at the end of the show. You know what I mean? Like, this is an episode when I look at the full picture of it, I might look back and be like, I get it.
Right.
Fucking get it, man. They were ahead of me. Right now, I don't feel like the show is ahead of me. And I think that the reason for that, honestly, is not this episode. I think that the moments of awkwardness in the first 2 episodes that I bristled at a little bit did not leave me to give the show the benefit of the doubt. Whereas if I was like, if the 2 episodes had been a little bit tighter narratively, I think that my benefit of the doubt would be a little bit stronger.
Right. It's like when you're opening up a book of an author that you know, and you're like, yo, this beginning, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I trust this author to see me through to the end. I don't have that trust yet, because I think that the first 2 episodes were fine.
And that what was awkward about those first 2 episodes to me was the like narrative of where people were and how they got there.
Yeah.
particularly with like Osha getting through the temple faster than the people. They were going to the same place. Like that was very odd to me. In the first episode, the like prison ship that just happened to have the right group of prisoners that weren't secured in any way.
Yeah.
That the Jedi, like that stuff that I was like, oh, this is a little clunky. I feel like we could have gotten here a little bit more naturally. So the clunky physical stuff around the finale of this episode, I'm like,
makes me a little nervous.
Is this going to be explained in a way that makes it make more sense? Or is it like episode 2 where it's just kind of hand waved away as like, don't worry about it?
Yeah.
And I don't want to just not worry about it because that was the whole plot. That's the whole episode. And if I'm not worrying about the episode, then don't put the episode in the show.
Yeah. I want this to all come together. I'm just, I don't have all the faith in the world that it will. Mm-hmm. If it does, great. I'll be so happy. But at this point, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if they can pull it off.
These witches are powerful.
Yeah.
They took over Tom Baratheon so fast.
Yep.
Maybe they're the reason he jumped out the window.
Spoilers.
I don't know if that's a spoiler because I see that gif on Twitter all the time.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah, this was weird.
This was weird. It wasn't terrible though.
No,
It was
I
just
know.
like it was a little bit like
why I feel so weird. I'm sorry. I don't know how to talk about it.
Maybe it didn't feel like Star Wars a little bit. And I think that that might be the High Republicness of it. I think I'm still not used to that.
I don't know.
And so I think that the High Republic being the height of the Jedi and this show being such a criticism of the Jedi feels weird because this feels like a criticism of the Jedi that I would see closer to the fall of the Jedi as that institution is collapsing and like is almost getting compressed under the weight of the ego of the Jedi, right? Yeah. That is sort of the Phantom Menace when they're all sitting in the boardrooms, in that their cushiony fucking, council chamber, being like, well, the Sith aren't real and they haven't been around in forever, right? Yeah. That's been a millennium. And so that
silly goose.
We call it the fall of the Jedi. That's what the era is called, right? And so the High Republic is supposed to be the High Republic. And what I'm getting from this is like, well, it wasn't that high because the Jedi murdered a bunch of women. They have to have murdered them for Torben to kill himself. So like either these 4 Jedi are evil and like I'm not going to feel bad that they're getting killed and the dark side is right. Like I think that it is a weird thing for the show to go down the path of this dark side user with a red blade is correct because we should kill the Jedi is like
which is why I think that the person in that mask has to be one of those witches. Because otherwise, how would May...
But they don't use the dark side. That's not... Like, they're not using... That guy has to be trained by the Jedi. It has to... Or in the Jedi arts. But that is a lightsaber. Like, that
what is the dark side?
Look, the witches use the dark side of the Force in some of their magics, right? But...
But they just use the Force...
Well, the witches on Dathomir is... Their power is rooted in the dark side, but...
Is the Force neutral or not?
No. Yes. Kind of. Depending on what you use it for. So basically the premise kind of is that light side, but it's obviously different depending on who writes it. The light side users allow the Force to flow through them, and so they like work in tandem with the Force.
Okay.
Dark side users seize control of the Force and use it as to do their bidding.
I'm just saying we haven't seen this red lightsaber person do anything Sith-like except have a red lightsaber.
Right, but to have a red lightsaber, you have to, like, force hatred into a kyber crystal to the point where you corrupt it with hate.
Unless that blade was found by the Coven for some reason.
Oh, maybe, yeah, and it's not his.
I don't know.
Or hers.
I'm fucking spitballing, but May has to be told by somebody what happened that night.
Unless she saw
from any of those people.
Unless she saw the Jedi kill all those women.
No, she was in the room.
No, because the women were already dead, right? So May runs out of the room that the women are lying down in, right? She runs like left and then up a platform. Osha comes out of a door over here and runs to the other side of the platform, but she doesn't see the room with the women in it yet, right? But that's the room that May ran out of. So May saw all of their bodies on the ground. So May might have seen the Jedi killing them, which might have been started by one of those witches using the black eye shit to take over Torben again, right? Like, so the show might be like, well, the Jedi did kill the witches, but the witches started the fight. If the show does, the Jedi showed up and killed them, unprompted, I don't think the show will work, and I think that it will like fundamentally not fit into the canon of Star Wars. That these 4 Jedi went evil over a girl that wanted to go with them because she.
Yeah, unless
one, I think that like the
unless Darth Maul Mother attacked them first.
But she would have to kill her wife first, because her wife was gonna let, and the leader of their clan was gonna let them go.
Well, we don't
let
know.
her go.
She was like, I don't know. We'll have to talk to the leaders. We'll take your thing into consideration.
Okay, so the way that this makes sense and doesn't like completely make these 4 Jedi the darkest of dark side users is Osha goes to her room to pack.
Yeah.
Mother,
after being given the go to that she can leave.
We'll call them Human Mother and Horn Mother. Horn Mother and Human Mother have a conversation about letting Osha go. Horn Mother gets upset, kills Human Mother, right? Horn Mother then gathers the Coven to meld their powers to attack the Jedi. Mm-hmm. The Jedi show up. May, unrelated to the Mothers killing each other, lights a fire, starts to burn down the entire plant.
I'm gonna fucking murder my sister.
Within the span of about a minute, which is 10 rounds of combat. A lot of things can happen in 10 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
The Jedi, the one of the Jedi gets taken over by the women, the Coven, and they fight. The Jedi kill the women as May runs into the room at the end to see the end of that.
There's no one there except Soul.
No, because look. We're putting way too much effort into this. If you look in the background of this shot, Torben's got the scar that mars him later.
Oh,
Torben
really?
got scarred. Yeah, look at his face.
Oh, yeah, no, you're so right.
So something happened in there that we haven't seen yet. There was a fight.
And they must have also been in there. It wasn't... Yeah, Soul, like, found Osha, but the other Jedi were definitely fighting. That's what the explosion had to have been.
Yeah. But the problem is who started the fight. Because if the Jedi started the fight, the show... Because see, in this shot, the women are already all on the ground. So Osha walks into the generator room.
And the whole thing explodes, yeah.
That explodes. But in this... So this is the room where the women are.
Okay, yeah.
And then...
Because that's where...
He runs from the room where the women are, I think, yeah. And then, yeah, so wait, where's Soul in that shot?
He should be there. Because she's about to fall there.
So the explosion happens.
Yeah.
And then...
We see him running towards the... But no, he's running away from
No.
light.
So that's the light is the room where the women are.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so then he's somewhere over here.
He should be, over on that platform hiding.
Okay. So then they climb up onto this platform. At this point, May has seen everybody die. Yeah, see, they're all dead already.
Right.
But this is where May came down this, right? I should have recorded this so that I could have just put this in. So, okay. So, but
then, so that's where... No, we just saw Soul. Soul is going to be on that platform, and he's not there, and he didn't just run through a bunch of bodies. So where is Soul?
He might have gone the other way to Osha's room. Oh, the shot of him wasn't him coming here. That was him going to her room the other way, and then... No,
but he shows up here in time to catch her on that platform.
Okay, so then these start to fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there he is now.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, he was just running through the building. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But then...
That's fine. That shot is just him moving through the building. That doesn't matter.
But there's no wounds on any of these people. Right?
That's what I'm trying to see. Like, they all look kind of red and burned, but I can't tell if that's like the color grading.
Yeah.
Because there's also that orange and red in the stone in this shot. And burns would be weird. I don't know why they would be burned. They should either be cut by lightsabers or crushed by things.
But there's also dead women out here.
Yes.
That's Mom.
Yeah, that's the mom right there. That's what I mean, because she stops here, so her mom is in the second room. One of her mothers. The other mother, Horn Mother, might be alive. But yeah, none of these people seem to be, like, crushed by anything. They just seem to be dead.
Yeah. They died. Maybe they died. What is on fire? Like,
Things.
this shot is... There's going to be so much more fire talk. This show is going to be a controversy of fires.
Yeah.
Space fire.
It's just
this building being on fire.
weird. It's odd.
The construction of the scene is to make the audience not know what's going on, which is less satisfying.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I don't think it feels very naturally done. I think it feels chopped in a way that is like, we want to hide the very specific things. But the problem is that this is what we knew. This is what we've already been told happened. Right? This whole episode is stuff that other than the test and the promise and the fail and like that stuff.
That's what I mean. It either
It
either showed us too much or it showed us too little. It should have showed us more or it should have showed us less. Sorry. We should have either seen less because we already knew it. Like we didn't need all of that. Or it should have shown us more and exactly what happened. And I just don't. Yeah. I don't. This is so weird. But
it's confusing, and it's really gonna. The show is gonna. This episode. What I think about this episode right now, I don't know. What I think about this episode will come down to the second time we come back to it, and when they actually explain what happened. Yeah. It's either going to slide into place, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, it's like a warm hug. This feels great.
Yeah.
Or it won't.
Yeah.
And it's. I really do think it's like. That is what this whole show is going to come down to, whether or not this scene works. Yeah. In hindsight.
Torben having the scar, though, is a big indicator, though, that they were in a fight. That's clearly what happened.
But, how... And honestly, I don't know that they would have given the witches the bows if we were never going to see them used. Because the Dathomir... The Night Sisters on Dathomir also use bows. But the Night Sisters on Dathomir don't use arrows. They pull... the Force, their arrows are magic projectiles,
right?
So it's interesting that these witches have quivers with arrows in them.
Do they?
But there's red scopes on the bows. Yeah, when they go to the Jedi ship, the women who are walking May and Osha to the Jedi ship have quivers on their hips. Do you see the quiver?
Yeah.
So they must have some kind of actual ammunition. Yeah, there's arrows.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
So these are just these are just compound bows.
Yeah.
I like the ship design though. Yeah.
Interesting.
This show is really they took a big swing with this episode. I don't necessarily think it's a great episode on its own.
How I feel about it will definitely be impacted by what comes next.
But even when it was explained, it might have been at the end of episode 1 or episode 2, I was like, the explanation for this is going to have to be convoluted for all of the things that everybody believes to be true.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't think it's going to be that complicated, but I am curious how the fan base is going to react to the Jedi killed a bunch of women.
Yeah.
And then blamed a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah, especially when he said to Osha, you need to be brave enough to tell the truth.
Well, and May, because, he says to her in the previous episode that May killed their family.
Yeah.
So Soul tells her that is what happened, which is, crazy if he murdered them. Because that makes him just evil.
Crazy if true.
It just makes him evil. And I don't...
It's weird.
As the first live action High Republic thing, making the Jedi that we see in our first foray into the live action High Republic, evil Jedi, is an odd choice to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they're not, unless May actually murdered them. But then why would Torben feel guilty? Yeah. So these Jedi have to just be evil. And that is weird.
Yeah.
If it was the fourth or fifth High Republic, you know what I mean? If we were in this era, if we did evil Jedi in the Skywalker era, I'd be like, yeah, what else is there to do here? We've done everything. But this is our first vision of the High Republic, and it's oh no, the Jedi suck. They are imperialist, oppressive, colonizers,
What I think is missing is that if that is the case, if they want to portray the arrogant Jedi, I think that there is a space for that within Star Wars. Maybe not this time period exactly, I agree. I think for my first High Republic thing, it might not have been what I would want, but that's fine. I'm not gonna like knock
And to be
it
fair,
on
there's
knocking
like
what I want.
36 books, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it isn't the first story. It's just first live
it's just
action.
live action. But if they are evil, if these guys are bad, then I think like you should have set that up much stronger in the meeting where they show up. They should have been a little more like dick swingy. Been like, well,
Yeah, because Soul
we're
seems
here
very
to...
nice.
Yeah, he seems very... He's a little quick for his lightsaber, which obviously is like...
But he doesn't
that...
use his lightsaber. He pulls it and hands it to...
But that's what I mean,
the girl
is that
to, like...
that scene... that's why I'm like, they can't be evil Jedi, because they should have then used that scene to be like cops on a power trip.
But May
right?
has to have seen them kill... I don't know. We are not going to know for a few weeks. Probably. Because I think next week we'll flash back to the present.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to get
go
more
to
answers on this for a while.
No, I know.
I ultimately... I don't know that this was satisfying as an episode of TV.
No,
I think that it might be satisfying in a season of TV, but as an episode, I don't think I would rewatch this. I don't think there's a lot of value in this episode on a rewatch.
That's exactly what I said at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm like, you either needed to show us less or show us more.
Well,
because it just kind of showed us things that we already knew, except for the fact that they were born of the Force.
Yeah.
And that May is a fucking sociopath who's like, I'm gonna murder my sister.
I'm so curious what the... I'm really curious to watch the online discourse about this episode. Among people that I like and respect.
Yeah.
And probably not the online. I'm curious about the text messages I'm going to receive tonight. Those are the real opinions that I wonder about, because there's some things that are said offline that can't be said online.
Yeah, we're gonna go because we've been talking
for almost an hour.
A long time, and I'm sorry, but
it's a long video.
Had to talk it through. I feel like so.
Yeah.
If you're still here, thanks.
I don't know if I like it or not.
I don't know.
But I don't dislike it, and I don't like. It's not. That's not a negative. I really don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, and sometimes that can be worse.
Yeah.
Being like forgettable.
It's definitely not gonna be forgettable. I think what's worse about it is when the impression is when your audience doesn't know what they're supposed to take away from something, can be a little bit tough.
But it didn't make people excited. But it and I'm sure it probably made some.
I'm more excited for next week's episode now.
I don't know.
But not because I want to see it,
anyways,
but because
I'm
like,
matter.
I want it to explain what the fuck happened.
Doesn't matter. We're just...
All right, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button, leave me comments down below, because the algorithm god is hungry, and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is...
Man, she's a fucking psychopath.
That's why I'm making it. Okay. It's an evil goddess this week.
Yeah.
Because she is, evil, right? It starts with her torturing animals.
Yeah, but Osha did this.
But Osha did it small and close to her hand, and made it across. I don't know.
And then she was like, "Don't do that," even though I just did it.
Maybe she was saying don't do that because she. Oh wait. What if?
Oh God.
She was saying don't do that because it's my thing, and we find out that Osha also dark side user in the present. What if they can't because of the tattoo. Because it's a magical brand. Yeah, well, if you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something nerdy tonight, y'all.
Bye.
May the Force be with you.